Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm gonna make a classic Italian recipe, a traditional recipe that I guarantee all of you use at home. It's called Ragù. Okay, so your tomato sauce. Sunday morning you used to wake up to mom's fresh tomato sauce cooking. Well, at least I did. I'm gonna teach you how to make that in a very simple way that's gonna knock your socks off. So let's go. Okay guys, so you will need for this recipe sausages, pork sausages. I know what you're thinking. Where's her minced meat? Hang on tight. Pork sausages and spare ribs. Look at these ribs. Nice, thick, juicy ribs, okay? You will need your veggies. So my famous and favorite tropea onion. This is a tropea onion, fresh tropea onion, okay? You're gonna cut that up. Some garlic, carrots, celery, and red pepper. Very little red pepper, but it adds a nice hit. Your extra virgin olive oil, your passata, which will be in your mom or grandmother's cantina, your concentrate of tomato, so tomato paste, and a good red wine, okay? This comes from South America. A dear friend of ours, Enrico, volunteers for an association which I don't remember the name. Fonima. Okay, this comes from South America, and that's an association that helps poor people. We like to help them out, and so I'm using that wine today. That's all you need. Okay guys, the first thing you're gonna do is prepare your meat. So I washed my ribs nicely and put them in a bowl. Next, you're gonna cut your sausages this way, like that. I didn't just say trump. And you're gonna peel off the skin, okay? I've cut them ahead of time to save time. Peel off your skin. Now, I bought these sausages yesterday and they were fresh. I wouldn't have been able to do this because when they're really, really fresh, the meat sticks to the skin, okay? To the casing, sorry, not to the skin. And you're gonna do that for all your sausages. So this sauce that I'm making is gonna last me about a week, which I can actually put in my fridge or my freezer to preserve it, sorry. Okay, and here I believe I have 8 sausages, so 3, 6, 8, yes, okay. And I have about 3 long pieces of ribs, which my butcher cuts into small pieces for me. All right, so now your sausages are prepared like so. Okay, you're gonna get a fork and you're gonna do this. And there you have it, forks. And there you have it, folks. This is what your minced sausage will become, okay, or your sausage once you've torn it apart. It's gonna be the equivalent of your minced meat with your ribs. Okay, now this is going to make the most tasteful, amazing ragu ever. So listen to me, peeps. Forget about the minced beef, lean turkey, lean veal. Pork is the way to go. If you're watching your calories or on a diet, do not make ragu. It doesn't make sense. You want the best tasting ragu in the world? Use pork. Okay, so everybody, this is the next step. You have your terracotta pot or whatever pot you choose to use for making your sauce. My other favorite pot to use is La Crusette. It weighs about 5,000 pounds, but it makes an awesome sugo too. Why? Because these pots don't release acid like a regular aluminum pot or steel pot, okay? They're made with special materials. I know La Crusette is iron, and this is terracotta, which is stone. Okay, guys? So what I'm doing is I'm lining my pan, but look how much oil I'm gonna put. Did you see how little? Why? I just need the oil to saute my veggies, but my meat is going to release a load of its own juices and fat because it's pork. So you're just gonna put your veggies in. And now with your veggies, what I usually do is I put the veggies that take longer to cook first, okay? Which are definitely gonna be my carrots and my peppers, okay? And you're gonna let those go. You want these to cook. You want these to be not just crunchy, it's a saute. So you gotta let them go for a bit. I'd say about 3-4 minutes. So you're just gonna put them in your pot and you're gonna watch them go. At about a minute or 2 of cooking, you're gonna add the remainder of your ingredients, your celery and your onions and your garlic. Okay guys, so you see how that's going? And my stove is on a medium, a little bit lower than medium. So now I can add my celery, my garlic, and my onions. By the way, I totally want to dedicate this video to my cousin Danny. Because I know you're thinking I could just smell those Sunday mornings on John Lindsay. Was it Court Street? Or Mama Bear? Yes, to make that sauce. Who needed an alarm clock? You had your Sunday morning sugo. And then be honest, how many of you, like my brother and I, used to get that fresh calabrese bread from Nino de Versa, or at the time, Mare Cafanucci? Used to cut it when mom wasn't looking, dunk it in the sauce, and all right, guys, let those go until you see that they have cooked really well. Do not burn them. You will ruin your sauce, okay? So you're gonna be stirring that for a bit. And I just want you to see the base of the pan. Then can you get a little closer here? There's not much oil because you'll also ruin your sauce with too much oil, especially this one, guys, because it's pork based, okay? You're gonna see that's gonna release a load of its own juices and fats. So the next step now will be to incorporate this meat. So let that go for another minute or 2 and I'll be back. Okay guys, this is what your sofrito, so what your, oh my God, your veggie prep should look like, okay? Now watch what I'm gonna do. These need a little bit more cooking than your other meat. So you're gonna place those in there first. Meat side first, okay? So wherever you find the most meat. Why? Because that's gonna produce juices faster, so your base doesn't burn, okay? You hear that sizzling? Right, so you want it to brown, but you gotta be careful because then if you make this brown, your veggies are gonna burn. So you gotta just do this a few times, move it around, okay? And make sure your heat now is a little bit lower, okay? There we go. Look inside the pot there, huh? So people can see what it's supposed to look like. All right. And then at this point, what you're gonna do is just gonna cover it up. You're gonna wait about 2-3 minutes, and then you're gonna turn those over once. And then once you've turned them over once, that's okay. We're gonna incorporate our sausages, our minced meat, okay? Which is our sausages in this case. Oh wow, can you see that? Okay, you're gonna lift your lids now, guys. Lift your lids, sorry. And you're gonna turn those over. Okay? And they have, you see how they brown nicely on one side? Now it's gonna be on the bone. Make sure your veggies don't burn, guys, okay? That means making them wait a little bit longer, but on a lower heat, feel free to do so, okay? And you're gonna do the exact same thing now, is you're gonna wait 2-3 minutes and make it brown on the other side, covering it up. Okay guys, and those ribs are done, okay? So now I would just turn them over again. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to do this step. And at this point, you're gonna add your sausages, okay? Just slowly but surely. So you're gonna bring your heat right down to low. You're gonna cover that up and let it cook in its juices for about 2-3 minutes. And then I'll show you what we have to do next. And you're gonna start moving that meat around, okay? Look at that, exactly what you want. We're just in the step of browning all of our meat, okay? Keeping it on low because we don't want our veggies to burn. Slowly, okay? Because otherwise everything will start flying out of your pot. Now, you're gonna find some recipes out there that have a little bit of a different step. Many famous chefs put butter and oil to saute their veggies. Not necessary, okay? Especially because we are using pork. So when we're using pork, we already got the fat. We don't need much more. Okay, and also something I didn't say at the beginning of this video, okay, is the spices you're gonna use in here. Because there's so many spices you can use in here. That's kind of all subjective. Anything from sage to thyme to peppercorn to all kinds of stuff. You do what you want. I keep mine simple. I usually put a leaf of a Bailey leaf, but I don't have it now on hand, so I'm not doing that. Or I put some thyme. Definitely the only thing I'm gonna add today is some pepper, black pepper, some freshly grated black pepper, and some basil, but you know how that works, right? Last 5 minutes of cottura, the last 5 minutes of your cooking. So once you've turned it all up, look, this is what your sauce is gonna look like, more or less. Okay, you're gonna cover it up. Okay, the sauce is gonna cook for about 5 to 10 minutes before it gets browned. Don't overcook it. Sorry, not the sauce, the meat. Don't overcook it. You just want to get it browned and you want it to release all those juices for our next step. Okay? So now look at that. I didn't add any liquid here. This is its own juices. We got to turn that around properly now. Okay, guys? Oh, wow. That smell. I wish they had a scratch and sniff button on this. Let's invent that. I've changed my wooden spoon to a smaller one so I can get in there better, okay? Because I want to kind of like mash my sausages, look, as I go along. The bigger one's not going to allow me to do it as nice, even the corners. Okay? You see that meat, how it's browning nicely and yet cooking at the same time. When you turn it like in a circular motion so it's kind of squishing at the same time. The whole point here is your meat is cooking, but you're not burning anything. And I think once we finish completely stirring it, we're gonna put our lid on for an additional 5 minutes, and the meat is gonna be ready. Okay, we want the juices to be released from the meat that's in here. Wait about, I'd say maximum 4 minutes. Okay guys, at your 4-minute mark after that, you're gonna add a nice heaping tablespoon of your paste to your sauce. You're not seeing that I'm adding steel to terracotta, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna give that a nice toss up. So what this is gonna do is just gonna give your meat a really nice color, okay? And it's a thickening agent, so it's gonna make your sauce nice and thick. And it gives it extra flavor, absolutely, because it's just all it is concentrated tomato. Okay. And you're gonna take advantage and churn your sauce slowly, your saute of meat slowly. See that? Oh, it's giving it like a little bit of a tan. Okay. Went to Cuba for the weekend. I wish you guys could smell this, but you're gonna smell it when you make it on your own, because it's very, very easy, as you can see. Okay. Now that's nicely incorporated. I want you to look over here if you can see. Dan, can you get that angle? See all those juices before they were bubbling there? See how they've incorporated nicely? That's what you want. Okay? Okay, so look at that. Look at the bottom of that pot. Okay, it's like a nice sauce, nice and thick. Now it's not just because we added the tomato concentrate now. Okay, it's because it's been cooking in its own juices. All right. So you're gonna cover that up. And you're gonna let that go for another 2 minutes and no more. All right, guys. Now our final step is to add our passata. Okay? In your mother's cantina, passata is the one that's all like one liquid, not pieces, not chunky pieces. Okay? La passata we call it, even back home. Okay? And you're gonna add that to your mix. So what are we gonna do? Back home, it's gonna be much thinner, this liquid, this sauce that I just put in. Here, it's a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to, look here guys, I'm gonna clean this bottle by adding about that much water to my sauce. Okay, I'll be right back with the water. Okay, I added the water, right? I'm just gonna give it a shake. And there we go. All right, so give it a nice stir, at which point you could add your spices like your dried or your fresh bay leaf, thyme, whatever you want to add, guys. Today I'm not adding anything other than, like I said before, a little bit of basil and some salt and pepper, which I'm going to do right now. And of course I didn't plan ahead, so I don't have it here. So while I go get my salt and pepper, think about the wonderful scent that this is giving off. Salt display, how I display my salt. This is very chic, very it is where I hold my salt. Very little, because the meat is already salty in of itself. And you can always add more if it's not salty enough. But you can't do really much if it's too salty. Give it a hit of pepper. Okay, and if you'd like, even some peperoncino would go wonderful here, some hot pepper. All right, so this is the base of our sauce, folks. The dirty work is done. Give that a nice slow turn. Make sure it's incorporated. Now you're thinking, whoa, that's really liquidy. Well, guess what? You know how long this bad boy is gonna cook for? It's gonna cook for 2 hours on low. Okay, and you're gonna see how that that watery effect is gonna be absorbed. Okay, so don't you worry. In fact, something I want to mention. So let me finish here. Salt, pepper's in there, all your spices are in there. The only one left now is gonna be your basil, parsley, whatever you like. Now you're gonna cover that up completely. You're gonna lower your heat right down, and you're gonna make that cook for 2 hours, folks. Okay, now, if you're making, this is a ragù, typical classical traditional Italian ragù. If you're using it for today, for example, today I'm just making a simple plate of spaghetti with my sauce. But I use this exact sauce to make my lasagna. When I make my lasagna, you always want it to be a little bit more watery. okay? Because it has to absorb. The pasta is gonna absorb your sauce, okay? And you don't want it dry. So to make it a little bit more watery, all you're gonna do is just add a little bit more water, okay? So that the look of your sauce is more watery and the consistency in the end is going to have more liquid in it, more water, okay? Otherwise, if you want a nice ristretto, so concentrated sauce like the one we're gonna obtain today, follow these directions that I've given you now. Okay guys, this is it. Once you've waited your 2 hours, serve it with whatever you like. Okay folks, and there you got it. So I got about 5 minutes left. And what I'm gonna do now, as you all know, I'm gonna put my basil. I don't have too much because my plant is being consumed daily. Give it a nice turn. Okay. And look at the thickness on that sauce. Let it go, cover it up. And let it go for 5 more minutes. Excuse the wardrobe change, but it's about 140 degrees outside. 5 more minutes. You're gonna shut off your stove. Then you're gonna boil your water, or put on your water, boil your pasta, and coat your pasta with with a nice helping of this sauce. Sprinkle some Parmigiano on top. If you want to also garnish it with some additional basil, feel free to do so. Make sure you get lots of that Parmigiano on top of your sauce. And I also wanted to say, the spare ribs in your sauce, in your sugo, you can serve that as a second, as your main dish with a nice salad, okay? Or some people could choose to take it off the bone and just shred it in your sauce and incorporate it with the meat. Okay guys, regardless of what you do, that's your standard traditional ragù sugo italiano. Okay, and I wish you a wonderful day, and most importantly, buon appetito, piatto pulito.